Alright, what's up guys, we're back here with another video, and today we're continuing our series of reviewing all of Stephen King's adapted movies and sequels, and a few of the miniseries as well, but today we are looking at 1989's Pet Cemetery, not the remake. I will review the remake after this, and then probably the next two after that will be a Return to Salem's Lot and Pet Cemetery 2, which was actually an actual movie from 1992. But right now I wanted to talk about the original 1989 Pet Cemetery. This was never a movie that I totally 100% liked. I always thought this movie was very cheesy, and that's how a majority of the 80s and 90s Stephen King movies are. I mean, Salem's Lot was a little bit cheesy too. And that was just how they were done. The Pet Cemetery 2 is very cheesy. But this was just one of the ones that it had an alright ending. I definitely didn't like the remake. The remake was terrible. I especially hate that I don't like him as an actor, the guy that plays the dad. Can't stand that guy. But yeah, this movie just never really clicked for me. I don't know why. This movie is very not. And I'm a horror movie guy. I love horror movies. It's my favorite category, but this one is just not for me. It is just, I don't know what it is. But before we get into the actual review of the plot, I want to mention the only strong characters in this are, let's see. There's only 6 significant characters in this movie. Zelda, which is the wife's sister, the dad, well, the mother's sister, and then the dad, the daughter, the son, and then Judd, the neighbor. There's also the fucking cat thing, and the Wendigo, but the Wendigo never shows up. And then there's also the kid, the kid that dies in the beginning of the movie. He shows up. God damn it, what was that guy's name? I forget the guy's name. But so this movie starts off with we're at this school and there's been this accident, and we get to meet the dad and the kid that's about to die in the beginning of the movie. Pascal. I think his name is Pascal, but yeah, I think his name was Pascal. But Pascal apparently got hit by a truck or something, and his brain's all hanging out of his head. And of course he bleeds to death. And throughout this movie we get to see Pascal in ghost form, and it's very... And that's another thing. Pascal, I believe in the remake. I haven't seen the remake in about a month, but I could definitely recite that entire movie because I remember that movie very well for some reason. But I believe they changed the actor with a black actor in the remake. See, that's a problem that I have. I don't have a problem, and this goes for when, such as Captain Marvel, I'm sorry to say it, but this goes for that too, when they switch a male character into a female, a black actor, a Japanese actor, whatever it is. I have a big problem with that a lot of times. It's not because I'm against those races, it's because you have all these people, and this is a chance to give out my opinion on this. You have a chance to so say you got a Iron Man, and one of these days they decide to turn Iron Man into a woman or a black guy, which I'm pretty sure he has been turned into a black guy before. See, that character was originally a white guy. See, when we made whoever made Iron Man, he just happened to be a white guy. I mean, that's the problem that I have with them changing them into black actors or white. Changing the black. I even have a problem when they change a black character into a white character. I mean, that pisses me off too, just as much, because the thing, I heard they were planning on changing James Bond white. Listen, guys, you're complaining about there not being enough black heroes on the screen, or women heroes, or Japanese heroes. If you want them so fucking bad, do what we did and actually make your own characters instead of changing their colors. I mean, stealing our ideas and changing them into yours. Stop taking our characters and turning them into your characters. I mean, we came up with these characters. There are plenty of occasions where they have made actual good black characters and women characters and all that. I mean, one of my favorite X-Men, Bishop. I fucking love Bishop. Bishop's a badass. He's got he can absorb like energy and shit. It's fucking awesome. I mean, you also got Black Lightning. Dude, if you want your characters so bad, actually come up with them and stop switching ours over. I mean, come on. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy some of the renditions. Like, for example, now a lot of people would disagree with me on this, but I actually enjoyed the Ghostbusters reboot. I legitimately enjoyed that movie. And it just pisses me off. Like, there are plenty of good, just come up with your own goddamn idea. Like, what the hell? I mean, then I've had an argument with a guy, well, all the ideas have been taken. No, they haven't, because look, a couple years ago, they came up with John Wick, 2014. That wasn't a character that had been created before, and you know what? If a black guy would have got a hold of it, John Wick could have been black, and it would have been just as good. It would have been just as good, because nobody had come up with that idea yet. There are plenty of ideas that you could come up with. Trust me. One of the most badass characters in Walking Dead, Michonne. You also got Ezekiel. I mean, what the fuck? Just come up with your own characters. I don't have anything against with you coming up with your own characters. It pisses me off when they switch them. And I know this is just from one character from the remake, but I mean, what the fuck? Come on. I mean, don't even get me started on the Annie remake. You know what? That's why I enjoy movies like Get Out. It's an original idea, and they didn't try to copy off anything. Jordan Peele just came up with his own thing, and I highly respect him for that. And I highly liked Get Out. I didn't like Us that much. I thought it had a little bit too many plot holes, but I still definitely respect that movie because he came up with his own idea and didn't try to make the entire cast of Annie black. Listen, if you wanted to make a musical, that Annie remake, I just can't explain how pissed off that I... Like, it wasn't just one character. They made the entire cast black. And I don't have anything against that. It's just, it happens all the time now. Pretty soon, John Wick is not going to be John Wick anymore. It's just like, really? I mean, that's why I respect guys like Jordan Peele because he comes up with his own shit. He comes up with his own movies, and I highly respect that because he's coming up with his own goddamn ideas and not ripping off other people. I mean, come on. I respect that to tenfold. Trust me. I mean, that's why I like the Creed movies. Those are good-ass movies because they're a new, fresh idea. And you know what? They didn't turn Rocky black in that. They actually continued the story with a brand new, fresh character with fresh ideas. They got 2 of those movies out, and I like them both equally. I love Rocky. And you know what? I might even like the Creed movies more. I mean, they came up with something fresh and new, not ripping off or changing other characters. And I feel like a couple people will agree with me on this. You got to come up with your own goddamn ideas. It's not a race thing here. It's just the simple form of making your own ideas and characters and not switching over the ones that already exist. Because you know what that is? That's lazy. I'm sorry, but it is. You got to come up with your own ideas. And I will... To my deathbed, I will respect guys like Jordan Peele because he's coming up with his own goddamn ideas. I would say that over and over. I respect guys that do that to tenfold. And you know what? I could come up with 100 more examples that they came up with their own ideas on. And I could come up with 100 more where they tried to rehash something. One of which I got to talk about is The Hustle. The Hustle is a new movie that recently came out that changed... that is a blatant ripoff of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Blatant ripoff, except now the cast is fucking women now. Blatant ripoff. Terrible. There's good and bad examples out there. I can come up with 101 good ones and 101 bad ones. It's just the simple idea of creativity, which is a thing that has been lost in Hollywood, in my opinion. Creativity is getting far fewer over the years. Fewer and fewer. I mean, God damn it. Look at one of the greatest Marvel superheroes of all time, and I gotta say, he's pretty fucking underrated. I'm a fan of vampire movies. Blade. I didn't like the third one that much, but the second one, oh shit, even the first one. Fucking Whistler, I mean, come on. Dude, Blade is awesome. And Blade is the perfect example of someone coming up with something fresh and new. And I don't want anybody... I know I've been going on with this forever, but that's what these movie reviews are for. I'm supposed to be giving out opinions. And I'm giving out opinion on the movie industry right now. I don't want to hear anybody say that all the ideas have been taken. That is bullshit to the max. I don't want to fucking hear that ever. That is bullshit. I mean, look at Get Out. That was only 2 years ago. And that movie was fresh and new. It was fucking awesome. I mean, God damn it. It's just... There's plenty of ideas out there. Trust me. There are plenty of ideas. Whatever happened to the days of when Denzel Washington was in fucking Equalizer and Man on Fire? And there were days when movies like Training Day and Friday came out. I mean, what the hell? Boys in the Hood. Bad Boys. I mean, what happened to those movies? They were so good. They were original ideas. Now everybody's just like, oh, let's take this black character and turn him into a female. Let's take this female character and turn him Asian. Let's take this white guy and turn him into a girl. I mean, it's just like, there's no person sitting in the chair and being like, okay, let's stop ripping off these characters and switching them over, and let's think of something that's actually fresh and new here. No, they want to make the next Paranormal Activity movie into all Asian cast, all women cast, all black cast. Let's take Chucky and turn it into Feminist Pride Week. Let's take the new Freddy Krueger and turn him into a hermaphrodite. I don't fucking know, but let's take Jason and have him kill only gender neutral people. I mean, what the fuck? It's just like, I wouldn't be surprised if Jason was a girl in the next few years. I mean, come on. They can't come. It's like the people at Hollywood. There's a few occasions like Jordan Peele, but it's like people in Hollywood just can't come up with new ideas. It's just like, oh, I don't feel like coming up with something, so I'm just going to complain to the media about how there's no women characters or black characters or not enough Asian characters or Chinese characters. So, in order to please the crowds, let's just have every show on TV feature a lesbian couple. And let's switch over John Wick and turn him into a hermaphrodite. That ought to please the crowds. Because I don't want to sit down and actually come up with a new, fresh idea. That's literally how I think they think. Now, it's a little bit different with TV shows, since there are a lot of good TV shows that feature all kinds of characters. And TV shows always bring in new characters. Like, for example, I just finished watching Hell on Wheels. That had good actors in it. There weren't any A-listers in it, but it was a good show. And then you also got shows like Walking Dead with Michonne, Ezekiel. But I just think it's ridiculous when people sit here and decide to take the lazy route and just turn characters different colors and become a crowd pleaser. It's just annoying. See, that's what I hate about Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is a perfect example. Captain Marvel is a dude. See, it is so lazy that they turned him into a chick, because it's just like, okay, you got Captain Marvel, which is a guy. So what do you want to do? Take the lazy route out and just rehash something into a womanly form and just put it out, make a movie about it? So basically all they did was take Captain Marvel's story and switch him into a girl. Or do you want to actually put some work into it and keep Captain Marvel a guy and actually come up with a fresh new woman superhero? Like, for example, you got I know this isn't the same universe, but you got Raven from DC, you got Supergirl, there's 1,001 ideas. You got Valkyrie, you got Psylocke, you got fucking Rogue, you got Storm. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of characters. You got Scarlet fucking Witch, Polaris. There is a mountain of characters, and you can't just simply come up with a new character. You got Gamora. I mean, there's mountains and mountains. I mean, there's even a fucking cartoon where Pepper Potts from Iron Man she gets her own suit too. It's like pink and purple. That was cool. It was a brand new idea. And it just pisses me off how these people are like, oh, I'm just going to switch this character into a woman and then I'll be a crowd pleaser. And then you got these feminists that are out there like, oh, there's not enough women superheroes. You know what I want to say to them? I'm saying to them right now, listen up. If you want women superheroes, then fucking come up with them. I have yet to see a mountain of these flow in here. All I've seen is you bitching and complaining how there aren't any. If you want them, fucking make them. I'll watch your goddamn movie and it might be good. There are a lot of women characters that I'm totally okay with. But I have yet to see you get up off your ass and stop bitching about it and actually make them. I mean, what the fuck? You're just going to sit there and tell me, oh, there's not enough women superheroes. Well, fucking come up with them, you stupid bitch. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel about that. And I feel like I'm not the only one. It pisses me off royally. Holy shit. Oh, now that I've gotten that out. Did the superhero woman? Well, fucking get up off your ass and make it then. I mean, what the hell? You're just going to sit there complaining about it? Come on. The nerve on some people. And I'm probably going to get a bunch of hate comments. Well, you're offensive. No, I'm not offensive. I'm just stating the facts of the world today. That's how everything is now. I'm saying what a lot of the news stations won't say right now. I'm saying what's wrong with Hollywood right now. They can't seem to come up with their own goddamn ideas and decide to make a bunch of remakes, reboots, and regenders. It's a madhouse. They can't. What happened to the days when every year would have like 100 different brand new fresh ideas out? Like, god damn it. The 80s and 70s had the birth of the Jaws franchise, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Chucky. So many new and fresh ideas. It also had the Alien franchise, Predator, Poltergeist, Indiana Jones, Star Wars. Mountains and mountains of them. God damn it, Commando, Running Man. I mean, you got fucking Expendables. Where are all these shows? But everybody wants to make a sequel, a remake, or switch the character's fucking race or gender. It's just ridiculous how they do that because it's so lazy. It is so lazy. And it pisses me off really because if you try to say anything about this, they're like, oh, you don't respect that race or you don't respect that gender. I would respect that gender if they actually came up with their own idea instead of just stealing ours. I mean, what the hell? I definitely would respect them if they came up with their... That's why I respect Jordan Peele, again. I respect that guy because he came up with his own goddamn idea and didn't steal from someone else. So Pet Cemetery. So this guy dies in the beginning of the movie. And he starts like... The dad starts like seeing him around the house. And they move into this new place. And it's got this like road in front of it. And on this road, these cars drive by. And they go by really fast all the time. It's kind of a bit of foreshadowing in this movie. And... So there's this guy that lives across the road from them, and they're about the only two on that road. So he goes over there, the dad goes over there and talks to this guy, and his name is Judd. So he invites Judd over to the house, and they start buddying. He's this older guy, he's got this real strong southern accent. And one of my favorite lines ever. Oh, shit, how does it go? Sometimes dead is better. I fucking love that. Sometimes dead is better. Sometimes dead is better. I fucking love it. So once they invite him over, he goes back to his house, and then the dad and him have a drink. He goes back to the house, and then the next day they show Judd is his name. Not the dad. Judd is the neighbor. So Judd takes the dad and like the daughter or something down to this graveyard. It's like a pet cemetery with an S. And he says not to go beyond this wall on the other side of the pet cemetery. Well, next day, Jug comes over to the house and he asks the dad to come out, and the little girl's cat has been run over and he's like stuck to the lawn. It's like really fucking dead. So he bags up the cat, and Judd tells him about the place beyond the pet cemetery. So they walk up there and they climb this wall above the pet cemetery. And he takes him to this ancient Indian burial ground. He takes him up there, and they bury this cat up there, and the next day the cat comes back. Cat comes back, and shit. So the cat comes back, and he's like all hostile now, and he smells like rotting meat. Well, he's an undead cat. And then, skipping a couple scenes. I'm going to skip through this one because I never really did like this movie. I think a majority of my talking went to that rant. Um, so a couple days later, the family and Judd are outside on the picnic table, and the kid is handling this like a kite or something, and the kite flies away. So the kid chases after it, and he runs into the road, and this big old semi like fucking plows him and kills him. And next scene, they're at this funeral, and the dad gets in a fight with the mother's dad because the mother's dad thinks it's the actual dad's fault. So the mother and the daughter decide to spend the night at oh fuck, they spend the night at the mom's parents' house. Well, the dad stays home alone. And so the dad does his creepy ass thing, and he decides to dig up his son and take him back to the pet cemetery. There's a glimpse of the Wendigo in this scene, but he takes his son up there, and then later that night, the son goes over to Judd's house. And before that, we get a scene of backstory on the mother's sister, Zelda, and apparently she had like this scoliosis thing or something. So it scarred her, and then she had a heart attack right in front of her. So that got covered up. And then there's also this scene where the maid of the house ends up hanging herself or something. I don't know. It's a small bit. And it's not included in the remake. But, so he buries the son up there. The son comes back as a zombie evil child. And the son walks over to Judd's house and fucking murders Judd by slicing his Achilles tendon and then slicing his jawline. It's a pretty brutal kill for a cheesy movie like this. I didn't think there would be a kill this intense like that. But there was. The gore makeup effect was pretty good on this movie. So basically what happens, I just want to skip through this movie. So the dad ends up killing the cat and the kid. And then in the process, the kid kills the mom, and then he puts the mom in the ancient burial site. And the movie ends with the mom coming home, and she's all like zombified and missing an eye. And then he goes to hug her, and she stabs him in the back, and he dies at the end of the movie. I gotta go. I'd rate Pet Cemetery at a C. It's just a meh for me. So remember to leave a comment, like, and subscribe.